written all with the dreams I see. Keeps giving me anxiety and delusions in my head as I look at the long list I've yet to complete. They say life's not always fair, but good things can happen to me. What about the lying hand declares that I receive? Is it fair when I give up and just fall asleep and think that there's no more fairy tales, just waking up at night in a cold hard sweat that kills me? No more sunny lights, just pacing round at night.
Good day, sir. Thank you for joining today's session. So I've got this sell in motion on gold, and I've got a buy in motion on GER40. Those are the main two trades which I have at the moment. I'm actively stalking on NASDAQ, and let's see. GBP USD, I just marked the opening range. I'm not anticipating to trade, but we do have a chance that price can still be bearish since we're trading inside yesterday's range. We might be able to get some form of a sell coming towards the previous day's low, but I do not have an entry on it at the moment. We might sell from here, but we might still push up before we get the sell also. So I'm not actively trading this one. Okay, GER40 is just basically the setup which we had in the morning when we did the mentorship. I think is the one which is playing on GER40. As you see, we got the break, we got the retest, price is above the 13, and that's basically the setup we have there. NASDAQ, we're still playing around the opening range, so I'm not sure if they want to push up or they might want to go down. So either way, my main point of interest is the previous day's low. So I want to see if they're going to come here and respect it. If they do this, then I'm going to take buys targeting previous day's high. But if we come below the previous day's low and we also break outside the opening range for this afternoon and stay below it, then I can look for sells. But for now, I'm still on the sidelines. US 500, it's more or less the same, although this one is showing a bit of a buy in terms of S&T divergence between the two. So I'll just keep stalking. If I do buy, I'll be aiming for the London session highs, aiming for the previous day's highs. So all I need right now, I guess, is a breakout. This is a one. Okay, let me put it like this. If it plays out from where it is, it's going to be a 1:1.5. But let's say price decides to come down, because here you see price left at a fair value gap. So if price decides to come down and respect that fair value gap and start to push back up again, then I'm going to have a setup which will look like this: 1:3, or something like this, 1:4. So this is just me like preparing for any potential upward move. So if we push up, it automatically means NASDAQ will also be pushing up. So I'm paying attention to the previous day's low, like I said. Then US 30, we are still trading within the morning range, within the New York open range right here. So if we close above, then I could be looking for something like this, only if the current candle closes above the opening range. I'll be looking for a buy stop for something like a 1:2. So I think that's all I have this afternoon. So I've got a sell active on gold and a buy active on GER40. I'm just going to see if those two assets play out. But my main asset, which I'm mainly stalking also, is US 100. So The ones which I have running, I'm happy with the risk, so I won't really be fiddling with them. I'll mainly be focusing on US100 because I don't want to miss this one if it gives me what I want to see. So on your side, I don't know if you took any setups this afternoon. If you took any trades, please let me know. Okay, so I'm actively stalking this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them side by side. Or maybe before we go there, maybe let's do a quick recap on the assets which we are trading, starting with Euro JPY. So Euro JPY has still been giving that retracement from the morning. We broke the first point of interest. Now we are approaching the second point of interest. Then the third point of interest is right here. So we want to see if we're going to get sells from there or sells from here. Otherwise, if price comes back above, then that uptrend could potentially continue, and this will then be considered a liquidity sweep to the sell side. So that's just an update on that one. Then EU, I think we were looking for buys in the morning, but if you notice, nothing gave us a continuation of the buy. At this point, we are back below this level, which was a point of interest, so I'm not looking for any buys until price comes back above the 13, or until price shows me something clear. So EU still stoking. So yeah, that's on the assets which you're trading. So I don't know if you took any trades. I'm going to leave my charts on the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. Okay, with the way price is looking, this also looks like a shark fin type of entry. So I'm paying attention to the open price on both assets. I'm also going to take a buy if price breaks out of this level here. I'll consider a buy here, and my setup is going to look something like this. Stop loss below this last M15 candle with a wick, which is the doji, and I'll just be targeting previous day's high. Of course, price can potentially push up to 24,000. On this broker, we still haven't hit 24,000. As you can see, this is my 24,000 point. We still haven't hit that point on this broker. Let me just check on Deriv. If we hit 24,000, we also haven't hit 24,000 here. So there's a potential that if price comes and closes above open price and stays above it, we are definitely going to head towards 24,000. And I'm going to take a trade based off that. So here I'm going to use a buy stop. That's how my trade is going to be looking. So just bear in mind also, this imbalance sort of has not yet been filled, and the previous day's low has not been tapped. So price can still do this, then do this. That's also a possible play. So if we activate here and it takes us out, we might have to go back into that trade depending with how price moves. So for now, just watching it from the sidelines. S&P 500 is already active for the buy though, as you see. So I'm going to execute this trade on my phone. Okay, I'm just going to get ready to execute.
right here, you can see all of the sky. Your head curls between my thighs. Nobody to ask if you wanted your drink with ice.
Okay, so I've got a buy stop ready for that buy. Should price push up and stick to the buyers here, it should be able to pay us. But if they come back into this fair value gap, then they will most likely take us out. So this will remain a valid point of interest for me, and we're just going to see how we move from here going onwards. So I've got a buy stop with a 1:2 risk to reward, aiming for 24,000. Okay, so let's come back to M15. Okay, gold not looking good. Retraced all the way back to entry. The way it missed the target here, maybe we should have closed, but I did not change any parameters on this trade, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. If we get this, that will be perfect. If we get this, that will also be perfect. At the same time, this could also play out. Not the best risk to reward at this point, because I'm not sure if the pullback is going to come. So for now, that is the trade idea. And here we're going to have something like this. All right. So that's what I'm looking at on my side today. Let's just come back to MT5. And wait. So when I'm looking at my charts, I don't necessarily have to mark the opening range on MT5 because I already know the first 15-minute candle is this one. So I can already tell and adjust my bias accordingly based on what I'll be seeing. Okay, I had also marked Bitcoin. They had a good trade in the morning, but for now they're still trading inside the opening range as well. Nothing too solid. USD had a bit of a push before our Killzone time this afternoon, so also still just stoking it to see what they're going to do. GU back in the range. GER40 pretty slow. Yesterday they did the same thing. I think the afternoons are a bit slow now. Yesterday I was looking for a buy. I remember 15:30, and what I did is I used a buy stop, if I'm not mistaken. I used a buy stop on this particular trade, and it triggered at some point when I was sleeping. Then when I woke up, I think the target was somewhere here. It wasn't a big target. So by the time the London session opened in the morning, this push hit the TP and that trade was done. So yesterday, from yesterday, you can see we didn't have volume for most of the afternoon. So I don't know if they're going to do the same thing today. But we're so close to our target, so we're just hoping the price will just push up and not go sideways, because if we go sideways, that's the most frustrating part. My stop loss is outside the opening range for this afternoon. This was the London session opening range. We broke, we retested, price pushed. So depending with the entry in the morning, this trade would also have been complete. But based on this setup, it's still in motion, and I just added this particular entry inside this setup. So it's a setup inside a setup. Gold it has potential to actually take us out. The reason I'm saying so is if you look here, we are finding support on the previous day's low, and price sort of wants to close back in the range. So if we close back in the range, if you notice, I've got a point of interest here, which is an order block, which is also an opening range for the morning. So with this price action here, I would have loved to see them come up, then sell from there. That would have been the best entry. But here when I entered, I just thought it looks like they're dropping and will break and retest the previous day's low to give a zone flip sell. So I was looking for something like this. So let's see if it will still happen. If it takes us out, that's perfect. But if it takes us out, I've got a funny feeling now we are going to have a buy setup, price coming back into the London session highs, or into this order block, or into the previous day's high also, since we are going to be back in the range. But we'll see what they do, and we are going to trade accordingly. Okay, Nasdaq is approaching our buy stop. Our buy stop will trigger, and I think those will be my only trades for the day. So I'm going to have Nasdaq, GER40, and gold. Those will be my only trades today. So let's see how it goes. So usually when I'm waiting for my trades like this, that's when I now go to my flashcards, and I just check to see if I can identify any pattern which I can use. So let's say, for example, I've got the previous day's low, so I usually wrote it as yesterday's low, as you see here. So I've got about almost 10 flashcards of previous day low setups. So they could be flip zones, they could be liquidity sweeps, NAS100, yesterday's low plus M3 break and retest. Okay, this was these are 3 minutes. This was a 3-minute template. Okay, nothing much to use here. Let's see the next one. Flip zone sell. Okay, this was a flip zone sell. You can see how a pin bar is standing out here. London session open, nice pin bar, but nothing we can use or nothing in line with what we're actually looking for. So let's see the next one. All right, this is an example whereby we had a liquidity sweep at 1530 on the previous day's low. Then price broke outside the range and started expanding up. Entry also on I think this is the 1 minute. See the next one. All right, look to the left. We had this open price 1645. Okay, break retest. So basically price is simply, it has to remain above the 13 EMA. We have to remain above the 13 EMA just as we are looking right now. So our Nasdaq trade is now active, as you see here. We are now active. So in terms of stop loss, like I said, you can put it in two ways. You can either put it below this, because this is the last nameable candle I can see with a wick on the bottom, so that's my stop loss. But I'm just conscious that price might still come here to tap this level. So if it does that, I already know I'm happy with the loss. It will just have to take me out. Then I'll reassess if I still have to take the trade. So I think I'll continue with this Zoom for the next maybe 10 minutes or so, just to see if price, or just to see what price does basically. Then I'll give an update maybe later on in the group. You can unmute yourself there. I see there's a raised hand.
Yeah, what my question is, as you know that the price might likely to come up to meet with our stop loss, based on that last candle you see, that doji candle. If we decide to put the stop loss a little bit below that doji, so that it does not take us out, won't it be more favorable to us than?
Yeah, it's also favorable. There's nothing wrong with that, but the only thing now is the reward. If you put your stop loss, let's say you put it below the fair value gap or outside the opening range, the risk to reward on the trades now becomes 1-to-1, because the way I'm looking at it, first I need to figure out where my price is going. So I'm saying price is most likely coming to 24,000 or the previous day's high. So basically that's my target, which is right here. So if I put my stop loss way low, it means the risk and the reward are almost the same. But if I put my
I'm not talking about. Okay, I'm not talking about putting it down below that place you're now putting. just a little bit below that doji.
Oh yes,
Won't it be better?
I understand what you're saying, but my answer to you is there's nothing wrong with it. You can put your stop loss anyway, even below yesterday's low. The only thing which will be different on all entries and stop losses is the risk to reward. That's all I'm trying to say. So you can still put it below the open price or just below the doji. There's nothing wrong with that. You can even put it outside the range, like outside this low. Still nothing wrong with that. But the only thing which gets affected is the reward. So if you put it here or here, the reward will just slightly be different depending with what price does. They could come down, they could not. They could push straight up. We don't know what they will do. So you can still put it here. If you put it there, then your setup will be looking like this. Let's say you put it right on the previous day's low, and your entry was right where my entry was. Your risk reward will be 1:1.84. If you put it where mine is, my risk reward is 1:2. If you put it slightly lower than that, risk reward will be 1.3, slightly lower, 1.1. So there is no fixed point, because at the end of the day, we don't know what price will do. Here we're just using estimates and what we've seen price do before in other days and other setups. We know that at this point, price can literally push straight up. That's a possibility. They could come back down into this order block and then push up. That's a possibility. They could come down and tap into the fair value gap and the previous day's low. That's also a possibility. And they might still even come as low as this level, then still push up. That's a possibility. But now if they do this, that's a different setup altogether, which will be for me. So out of these possibilities which you have, you just have to figure out where best you can put your stop loss. So for me, I prefer to put it just below this this nameable candle which I mentioned. I'm happy with that on my side. All right, gold is not looking so good. Gold is the only setup which is a bit tricky at this point. US30, still nothing clear. You can see we're still trading within the 1530 opening range. No candle has closed outside yet, so we are still on the sidelines. So again, sometimes you might get a directional bias, like here. If you see in the morning, we had a bi-directional bias, but what happened is price hit the previous day's high, and soon as we hit that level, we retraced. Then I'm not sure what we had at 1530. Maybe it was a news event. Then price just pushed down, which means if you're in a buy and maybe you were aiming for a 1:2, which would have been somewhere there, this price would have came and hit your stop loss. At any point where your stop loss was, it would have been hit. So some setups will play out, some won't. The only thing you can do as a trader is to have your risk in place and be happy with what you're going to lose on that particular trade. If you're not happy with your risk, you can just use a lower lot size, or you can just half the risk again so that you can be able to execute the trade. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So I've got GER40 and NAS running on one account, and I've got gold running on the other account. So for GER40 and NAS, it's on my mobile phone. I can only do a short video, maybe then share it in the group. Then the gold trade is on the PC on one of the prop accounts.
Right here, you can see all of the sky. Your head curls between my
Yeah, I hope the sounds there's someone on right outside my place who's got some channel playing. I hope it's not affecting this Zoom in any way. All right, so there's about 9 minutes left in this session. I'll just update in the group in terms of results, whether GER40 plays or not. So let me also just leave these alerts. So if you're using TradingView, you can still put the alerts and close your charts. Then you can always get a notification if price hits your desired level. So you can put alert on the TP, alert on the stop loss, and yeah. Okay, this one USD is high. All right, so yeah, that's all from today's live trading session. I'll update on the results in the group, whether the price plays out or it doesn't, but otherwise you can just manage your trades accordingly. That's all from today's trading session. We can still plug in on tomorrow. I think tomorrow I might post another one just to close off the week. So if you watched until the end, thank you. I think I might also post it on YouTube. I'm not sure. But if I do post it, I'll let you know. I'll drop the link in the group. Then you can still watch the session from where it started. So if you watched until the end, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.